Mr. Frank Warren. So Frank, first show on DAZN, big changes.
I'm loving it. I mean, you know, it's a new challenge for us as a promotional company. You know, and I've said on many occasions, we want to be the best promoter on DAZN and deliver the best shows. And you know, it's going to be a really good night. We had a great fight. The opening fight was a really exciting fight. And I'm looking forward to the next three. They're going to be exciting.
Yeah, you've got some great fights on here tonight, but this is very heavyweight heavy this evening. Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgovic. We find both of these guys in funny places in their career, and even more so for Joe Joyce, you know, coming off those back-to-back losses against Adeleye Zhang and then last time out against Derek Chisora. Frank, is it a must-win for him?
Oh, yeah. He's lost 3 of his last 4. And they, you know, against good fighters, good fighters. And it's funny, I look back and think only, what is it, maybe a couple of years, 18 months, whatever it was ago, he was the bogeyman for everybody. Yeah, he had that great win over Joe Parker. And look at Parker where he is now. So you want to emulate that tonight. You can't afford to lose. He's 39 years of age now. If he don't come through this tonight, I feel he's going to be very limited where he goes at the top level.
I mean, you're controlling this heavyweight landscape right now with all the fighters that you've actually got there. You know, what is the position for the winner of this one? Because people, you know, many years ago, these sort of fights would not have happened because you go, where does a winner go from there? What would the winner get out of this?
The winner would fight somebody in the top 10. Right. You know, look, we're trying at the moment to get together, get this fight for the 4 belts together. We'll either do it or we won't. And whatever, if we don't, then the governing bodies are going to order one after another mandatories.
I mean, let's talk.
And that means all these guys are buying for position, excuse me, to be in there, to fight for those titles. So it's a it's exciting times for them, really exciting. You know, the heavyweight division's never been so lively for a long time. And these fights are happening. We're making them happen.
You know, we was talking about the mandatories and the position of the governing bodies and everything earlier on this show here. You know, you got a funny position going on right now with Daniel Dubois and where he goes next, with Alexander Usyk where he goes next. I mean, can you give us any light on that, Frank? I know you're working hard behind the scenes, but, you know, what's the next move for Daniel Dubois? Who do we see him in with?
I'd like him to see him in with Usyk. I'd like to see that rematch. It was very controversial the first time round. I'd like to see that again. Daniel's a different fighter, I believe, from the first fight he had with Usyk. He's coming in leaps and bounds against top quality opposition, undefeated fighters, former 2-time world champions, and done the business and done it in style. So for me now, is capitalising on that, and hopefully we get in that fight. If we don't, he'll either have his mandatory or he may fight Joe Parker.
Listen, I was going to ask that about Joseph Parker. It's very unfortunate the way that fight didn't happen at the final hour there. You know, where does Joseph Parker fit into this picture? He's coming off the back of a couple of wins, and a lot of people would argue he deserves that opportunity. Where do you see him fitting in this picture, Frank?
There was a contract signed for the fight. It was there. It didn't happen, as we all know, for whatever reason. Since then, things have moved on. You know, Joe's in a great position. The next mandatory title out of the 4 governing bodies is the WBO. So if we can't get the unification together, then he is in and he will fight. That's where we are.
I mean, would that WBO then become vacant, and then we could see a fight with, you know, like Joseph Parker?
If Usyk give it up, then it would be vacant, and it's either the number 1 or maybe we make the fight for the 2 belts with Daniel. There's lots of permutations. One thing for sure, the fights are happening. We're making them happen.
Frank, I've just got to ask you just quickly, you know, the prestigious title, the British heavyweight title, we've got to talk about these boys have really been on fire this week. David Adeleye, Jamie TKV, exciting fight.
Yeah, it is. I'm listening. I don't like all that stuff at press conferences, but it happened. And let's hope it's going to be as exciting as that. You've got these 2 guys, they were good friends, I understand, and they sparred a lot with each other. So they know each other, they both fancy it, so it's going to be interesting. But you know, again, you know, you look at David, he had that loss against Fabio. Look how he come back against Soldakis. Looked really good, in great stuff. So he'll want to build on that, put another sterling performance in, and if he does, it'll be European next.
You know what? My finger is almost healed, as you can see. You see the scarring is there. It's not even healed yet, you know what I mean? I crushed my finger. If I cut, been easy, because I crushed it between two weight, it tore all the ligaments, and I still wanted to fight. I was up for fighting, my team pulled me out. So I just speak to Frank now. He's saying around the end of June, so that's perfect, you know. That's perfect for me. You know what I mean, I'm in shape. I carried on training and did the best I could do, so I'm ready to go.
Are you punching with that hand now?
1 second, hey, nice to see you, bro. Yeah, I can start punching it now. I can just about make a fist. So yeah, I'm ready to rock. The end of June, early July is perfect for me. You know what I mean? Perfect.
Brilliant. And who you got your eye on there, mate? Because there's some big names out there for you now. You're well placed. Who do you fancy next?
I got to look and see who's around, because there's all these fights have been made and an opponent's taking this opponent. So a lot of the guys that was below me stepped up to my level now. So there's lots of fights going on. So I got to speak to George and Frank and see what they suggest and what's the best fight that's going to sell. Because it's not about sellable fights, so we have to see.
Listen, Joe Joyce, Filip Hrgović tonight, that's an interesting fight. You know, you wonder where the winner goes, where the loser goes. Could the winner be going in with you?
Yeah, I hope Joe just win. I'll still look to fight Joe. But it'll have to be later in the year because he's going to need to rest. So, but I hope Joe win, because I'm British and I support the British, and we all want our countrymen to do well. So yeah, I hope Joe wins, you know.
Yeah, and we've got that brilliant British title as well, David Adeleye versus Jamie TKV. How did you see that one?
Very interesting fight. I think TKV needs to be careful early. I think if you get through the first 4 or 5 rounds, he will come on and wear Adeleye down late and stop him. But if he starts slow and cumbersome, he could get knocked out early.
Brilliant, Dillian. As always, mate, great chatting to you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.